So March the 21st, happy first of spring, everybody. Allow me to just tag a few people. We've had a busy day already and have been trucking along. You saw me maybe a little earlier running across Capitol Mall to get from one side, to get from the congressional or Senate side to the congressional side, which is a 13-minute walk, and we had just barely 13 minutes to make it. So we hustled along. I think we actually made 11 minutes. So it is a little sunny out here, so I may be a little squinty. We've got a few minutes before we head in to the next meeting. So for those of you who've been watching, you know I was in New Delhi, India last week for the premiere of Miss Chatterjee versus Norway. And when you watch this, it'll be on Netflix coming up in May. And when you see it, oh my gosh, you're gonna cry. And the real mama was there. Her name is Sagarita, and she was there, and we had a little presentation, and it was awesome. So then I traveled for, I don't know, 25, 30 hours. It just seemed like forever. I chased the sun across the planet and arrived in DC late on Sunday night. And so yesterday we gathered. There's about 12 of us, and we had sent out several invitations for meetings, etc. And we have already had Monday morning, first thing, we had a great meeting with the Education and Workforce Committee of Congress, which is a subcommittee of the Ways and Means, talking about the new CAPTA reauthorization and some of the important changes that we needed in it, and we're looking forward to working with them. So it's quite interesting, just kind of learning how it goes up here and what happens, and as I've said now in a couple meetings, it's like the American family is kind of the bastard child of legislation, because so many things happen surrounding the family, and they get caught up in so many laws that just make them subject to, the whims of the state. So it's talking to a lot of young people. Got some victims up here to share their story, and it has it's been very interesting. So here, all right, I got a few of you tagged, and maybe you can catch up later if you're busy working today. So as you can see, that is the Capitol behind me. There are no riots here today. There are no protests. So I don't know, wherever you are and whatever you are doing or hearing from the news about Trump being arrested and calling for protests, there is nothing here today. Look here. Nice, peaceful America, and it's great. It's a little nippy, a little cold out here, but it is beautiful. So this morning, my client and co-defendant, Wendy Hancock's case, was in front of the Court of Criminal Appeals. And a very interesting event happened this morning. Is the prosecutor who initiated the false prosecution on us died this morning. Yeah, I kid you not. So Kim Helper, District Attorney of Williamson County. And, I feel quite sad for the family. I know she has a husband. He's retired, and he's a big supporter, anyway, of some issues. We've had some conflicts, and I've had several conflicts with Kim Helper with the way she's handled child sex abuse cases, the way she trumped up and changed the law to do a fake investigation on myself and Wendy. And today was the first day of spring 2023, and also what appears to be sort of an odd air of maybe some things are going to be turned right where they belong. So those of you who know about the fake prosecution, I don't have to tell you anymore. Those of you who don't, Kim Helper manipulated the law to purposely and intentionally caused me to have a felony and my client to have a felony when all we did was try to protect her 12-year-old child from her being removed from the care of her mom under false allegations. And yeah, Kim Helper, Detective Lori Russ in Brentwood, Tracy Hetzel with DCS, and Sarah Cripps, who is an attorney who was appointed as a guardian ad litem by Judge Cook, I think. So, yeah. So, no. Excuse me. Michael Collins. So they obtained an ex parte order, and even though I tried to call them multiple times, they lied under oath in a petition saying that mother would not cooperate with them and ignored the fact that she had an attorney. So we're trucking along. We will not be weak-kneed, but the death of the prosecutor who had been there for 25 years. She came out of Florida actually as like in journalism, and then oh, can y'all hear me? I know sometimes the way this stand is, it like covers up the microphone, so I hope you can hear me. And yeah, so interesting day. So I'm not going to tell you all specifically who we have met with, because there are still sort of haters and stalkers out there who try to interfere with the work that I'm doing. I'm going to tell you we have sat down and met with several legislative offices here regarding CAPTA and the changes for the child welfare system, and talked about the state actions, etc. So yeah, it's been great, and we're going to follow up with them. We've had personal contact and had those personal conversations. We have several more meetings to go. We're focusing on 2 particular committees, one Senate committee and one House committee. I do need, so there are certain states that they want to have a constituent from that state, and I kindly had one of my past clients and favorite moms out of Kentucky reach out, because I do need to contact Rand Paul, and they were being a little stinker about wanting a constituent involved. So I want to thank her for that, for calling them. I do need Utah. So I do have a contingent meeting set up with Burgess Owens. And Burgess Owens, I will tell you, I have seen some of his work, and he is a very staunch supporter of the American family, and I am looking forward to that. So we've had some great meetings, some great conservative and liberal people are going to be involved, because of course there are members of both houses that will be involved in the changing of this law. And so part of my discussions with them is 3 A's. There are 3 A's that I want them to think about as this law comes down. And one is advocacy, the second is assessments, and the third is alternatives. So that we are doing proper assessments of families, that we have advocates in place that kind of help them understand that process, and then that there are alternative choices. So we can start in America to build better families again. And I will tell you, if you didn't see this, we had a presentation in India on Saturday night, and myself and my new friend from Norway, Marius, who's an attorney in Norway, who's been fighting Norway in the European Court and the International Court of Human Rights, and he and I spoke, and I will just tell you the truth. It's the Western civilizations, I will call them, are the most grossly violative of family rights, believe it or not. So Australia, Canada, Germany, England, Norway, United States, I mean, they are the most aggressive in government restructuring of the family and abuses of family rights. So I called on India as a country to stand up for family rights and to call out and shame the rest of the Western world. And so I will post that. It's only about 8 to 10 minutes. Once I get a good clip of that, I will post that. And I want to thank, my client Chad and his family, and young Aiden did speak for the Tennessee General Assembly about how he was removed from his house basically at gunpoint with a whole SWAT team from at least 2 and maybe 3 law enforcement agencies at their heels, searching their house without a warrant and taking him from his home and putting him in a foster placement, even though there were other adults who could have provided care for him that were right there in the house that could have you know, if there was a concern, they could have safeguarded that. So I want to give a shout out to young Aiden. You know, I've had other young victims speak out, and you know, Tori's son, he actually wrote a little speech for me, supporting me as far as the judicial campaign. So it is relentless. We are relentless, and we are persistent. And this is quite a joy, because I do like to speak, and I do like to help people understand, to teach and speak. And so educating these young legislative assistants that work in these offices is very, very important. Okay, well, we have a 3 o'clock meeting, and it's 2:44 here. So we have to hop back across the street, and I want to always make sure we're on time. So I'm going to check out here, and y'all just stay in touch. I'm sure maybe one day, yeah, we will definitely tell what happened. I mean, they're so bizarre. It is so bizarre. God works in mysterious ways, y'all. I'm just going to tell you. Okay, so I'm going to leave y'all so I can make sure I'm on time to the meeting, and Rachel and I and Terry LaPointe are gonna jump over there. And then we also, I think maybe we have a 5 o'clock or something, a 5 or 5:30. So it's a pretty full day, all over the place, and you know, lots of talking. So it's good, though. It's good, and they're enjoying hearing the true stories. Okay, y'all, love you. Talk to you soon, and happy spring day.